One question I see asked a lot from homeschool moms is, how do I create motivated learners? This is one of the biggest struggles in homeschool, or at least it can feel like it. I confess I've never struggled with motivating my kids to learn, and I am going to let you in on the secret sauce. This podcast is all about creating motivated learners. Getting my kids to learn and do their schoolwork hasn't been a struggle. Yes, sometimes things haven't been done with excellence or to the level of excellence I expect, but I never felt like I was struggling to get them to do what they were supposed to do. So let's talk about how to create motivated learners. It is possible, and I want to help you take the struggle out of homeschooling. Hello, Rebel Moms, and welcome to the Life Unboxed podcast. I am Jody, the mom, wife, homeschool mom of six, and successful mom entrepreneur. And I am bringing you information and inspiration on raising kids, running a business, and of course, keeping your sanity. Get your Rebel Mom checklist so you can work from home and homeschool confidently. You can find the episode show notes, tools to make your life easier, your free Rebel Mom checklist, and more information at lifeunboxed.blog. There's a ton of information over there, so go check it out. Okay, what is a motivated learner? Before we dive into the nitty gritty of learning, let's define what a motivated learner looks like. A motivated learner is a child who will finish his work without a lot of reminders from mom. Now, again, this is age dependent. Your homeschool day isn't full of struggle, intense discussions on getting it done, and your time isn't spent talking your kids into doing their schoolwork. Mom, it is possible to have a stress free homeschool day, or at least mostly stress free. So don't get me wrong, all our days are not stress free, but most of them are. It is possible to create motivated learners for a mostly stress free homeschool day. So understand motivation to create a motivated learner. In order to understand how to create motivated learners, we need to know what motivation is and the different ways our kids are motivated. So, motivation is the desire to fulfill a goal. Now, I am not a fan of SMART goals. So, we aren't talking goals like that, but a goal as an end result. It is one of the driving forces behind our behavior. Motivation is either extrinsic, inspired by an outside force, or intrinsic, inspired from within. So, in our homeschool, I have a mix of motivations, and the boys are usually motivated by an outside force, and my oldest daughter is intrinsically motivated. We have to tell her to slow down more than to speed up. So, how are your kids motivated? Observe how they accomplish goals and distinguish between what they need to do and what is important to them, because the motivation is different in each case. Get a curriculum they like. Curriculum plays an important role in motivated learners. Your kids are not going to be in love with all curricula, but there will be some that they prefer over others. Whether it is a homeschool all-in-one or you piece it together, try to give them a curriculum that they will actually like to do. And this will not be perfect, so set realistic expectations. A curriculum they don't dread is a good enough goal for your curriculum choices. If your kids dread the curriculum they are using, then every day is going to be frustrating for all of you. If you dread the curriculum they are using, then you will be frustrated too. Also, keep this in mind. Just because you like a curriculum doesn't mean it fits your kids' learning style. And the curriculum you dislike may be the perfect fit for them. So, my daughter has begged me not to change her curriculum. She uses Abeka Academy and always has. And here's the thing, when I was homeschooled and I used Abeka Math, I swore to myself that I would never use it again. I did not like it at all. And now I use it for my kids. Ditch perfection. If you spend any time on social media, then you see the post of the ideal homeschool. We all post them. It's okay because we have some days like that, but not every day is like it. We are going to have bad days, frustrating days, and days we just need to take a break. That is the entire reality of homeschooling. So ditch your ideas of the perfect homeschool day. It doesn't exist and you won't attain it. You want to give your kids the best education you can. Sometimes kids need deadlines. Yes, depending on the age, it is a life skill to teach your kids how to meet deadlines. A free flowing schedule is not going to encourage motivated learning or teach them important life skills either. Now, let me add this. I don't think your 4 or 5-year-olds need to learn how to meet deadlines or sit at a desk for 7 hours a day. That isn't age appropriate. But your high school student should be more than capable of meeting a deadline and finishing the task before him. The perfect homeschool day doesn't need to look like all the social media posts we see of kids splashing through the creek or climbing rocks in the woods. We have neither of those where I live, or very few at least. So that's not happening. It can be sitting at their desk, finishing their workbooks because that is what's best for them. I recently listened to a podcast on writing. The interviewee was talking about how the school system doesn't encourage the creative process because the creative process involves making mistakes, but the school system only allows for one chance to take a test or write a paper, and that's it. However, the writing process is all about being able to get something wrong and change it. So, mom, this is the greatest gift we can give to our kids. Things don't have to be perfect, even with their schoolwork. We get the opportunity to take steps in a direction and fix it later. Ditch the idea of a perfect homeschool day or striving for your first grader to learn algebra. Teach your kids that they can make mistakes, but also how to fix them. Now, I might need to say this too. Obviously, this doesn't apply to everything. There needs to be self control and taking responsibility for stupid actions. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but academics doesn't have to be perfect. So, with your academics and with your homeschool, take steps in a direction, and you have the freedom to fix it as you continue down the road. Embrace independence to create a motivated learner. One of the biggest tools to create a motivated learner is to embrace independent learning. Yes, you can teach your kids to take responsibility for their schoolwork in the early grades. Once again, this is age appropriate. So start with 1 or 2 subjects that you know your child can succeed at independently. You want to encourage confidence that he can do it. So when you add the next subject, it isn't overwhelming. Your child has learned that he can do well working independently. So my kids thrive on managing their own schedules and being responsible for their schoolwork. Our homeschool day starts with set routines, and they all know that schoolwork gets done before anything else, but they get to decide which subjects and how they want to work. Math on the stairs is pretty popular in our house, and I'm still trying to figure out why. So, the best thing you can do is to give them age appropriate autonomy and watch them soar. Create a motivated learner by feeding interest. So, this is one of our homeschool superpowers. We can focus on interest based learning. I still use our homeschool all in one curriculum, but I also fuel their curiosity with other learning tools. Skillshare is probably the one tool that all my kids use when they want to learn something new. At least that's the place where they start. So, from stop motion animation to 3D printing to photography and even bookkeeping, they all use these classes to learn something new. And it also gives them a place to explore things that They didn't even know they didn't know. We all have those. So it really is just a great tool to utilize in your homeschooling. Homeschooling online gives you the freedom if you don't have the knowledge for your kids to explore more. You can spark their curiosity and feed their interest, and this will motivate them to learn. Unrealistic and clear expectations. So I see a lot of parents frustrated with homeschool, and I get it. Things aren't going as planned. But here's the thing, sometimes your expectations are unrealistic or they aren't clear. If your 5-year-old has no interest in school and really doesn't want to learn, you're getting frustrated with this. You start to think homeschooling will never work if it is like this. Reset your expectations. It is normal for 5-year-olds to show no interest in school, especially boys. All my kids fought me at this age. After 6 kids, I learned to just stop or let it be more interest led. My 4-year-old really likes the preschool curriculum we have, and she asks to do school. It's not every day that she asks. It's maybe once or twice a week. And so I let her lead that because that is age appropriate. There is a lot of maturing that happens between 5 and 6. If your young child is fighting you on it, then just wait until 6. I promise you will thank me for it. Now, this is just one example of unrealistic expectations. Think of a struggle or frustration you are experiencing. Are your expectations realistic? Sometimes we expect our kids to do something or act a certain way, but we haven't actually told them what it is we expect. And that can be very frustrating for everyone. So my kids know I expect an 80% on their schoolwork. So the schoolwork I grade, it better be 80 or higher. And they also know that they will keep working on the problems until they are successful. So once again, they are very free to make mistakes in their schoolwork, but they are also very free to go back and fix it however many times it takes. And this is very clear to them. And so I don't get too much complaining when they have to go back and redo something because they know it's on them. Like it's their responsibility. And they also know that this will be is something that I do and it isn't a surprise. So do your kids clearly know what you expect? A morning routine really helps to set your expectations for the day. Empower your homeschool journey by creating a motivated learner. Creating a motivated learner is an ongoing process. So every year brings a new season that you need to adapt to. But this is all part of the growth process for you and your kids. Curriculum plays one of the most important roles in whether your kids are motivated to learn or not. So I invite you to grab a copy of the Momtrepreneur's Guide to Curriculum, the second edition. It's over 60 pages of sanity saving tips. I've bought a lot of curricula over the years, like seriously a lot. I homeschool 6 kids. Come on now. And this is the good, the bad, and the ugly on all the curriculum we have used. So thanks for listening. Be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog and download your Rebel Mom checklist. And remember, you can work from home and homeschool confidently. And if I've mentioned anything in the show that has sparked your curiosity or you're thinking to yourself, I want to learn more about that, then be sure to check out the show notes or the description below because it is resource rich. I try to give as much information as humanly possible, and I will see you next time.